technical delay there. Had some squirrels in the system and whatever, and it kind of hopefully we got them all worked out and all that stuff, and hopefully our audio and everything is good. Sometimes you putting on the pre stuff and you see all the meters and stuff, but you don't know how strong. Sometimes you can't tell how strong the signal is if there's lagging and stuff. It's just it's a lot to that. But anyway, we was on our first game. We had started to preview our first game of this season in week two. And first game is going to be the LA Rams versus the Tennessee TK's Tennessee Titans. That's his hometown team. And the Rams, as I was saying in my before I was so unceremoniously booted, whatever, however that was. Uh, I picked against the Rams last week because I thought the Texans had, I mean, when you look at their defensive lineup, man, I was like, man, they got a freaking murderer's row on defense on the line, linebackers and safeties and corners. Like, man, they're gonna make it difficult for them. So I picked the Texans, and the Rams showed me a little something, man. Matthew Stafford made a couple of nice throws. I mean, they just gutted out a win. I mean, it wasn't pretty. That was a five-star game in my opinion, but it ended up being a 14-9 game, and they 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 showed me a little metal, and so now they go to Nissan Stadium this week and face the Tennessee Titans. The Titans will game against the Denver Broncos. Just weren't able to make enough plays in order to. I mean, there were some plays to be made, but that and Cam Ward showed some promise. Calvin Ridley, you got to make a couple of them catches, man. Um, I'm just saying. So, but as far as this game is concerned, man, I ain't gonna spend a whole lot of time on this. I got the Rams. The Rams got like I said, they're one of the handful of teams in the NFC. I think got a shot to be in the championship game. They got a good quarterback. A very up and coming defense. And like I was saying in my opening, they got Devontae Adams there to pair with Puka. That's a nice pair of receivers, man. That's a good team right there. So I'm looking at the Rams to win this game, and I'm not sure what kind of game I'm gonna get from the Titans. Maybe the only good thing is that they're at home in this one. I think the Rams are favored by like 5.5. What say you, TK?
Rams for the win. Cam Ward is awesome now, and he'll just have to suffer through it and wait for the team to catch up in terms of roster structure. So it'll be a rough up and down year for them without getting all in the narratives. But Cam's good, man. He's got all the talent. He can make all the throws. More so for me on the other side, Rams incredibly fun, explosive offense, and I'm expecting them to put up some points this week. I would love to see Devontae and Puka matched up
Yeah.
against Sneed. Brownlee Jr. is
Oh,
on the other side,
that's why I
and
love TK, man. That's why I love
yeah,
TK right there. That's the matchup. L'Jarius Sneed against either Puka or Devontae Adams, man. That's a good matchup. You got to
yeah.
look at that.
So it'll be interesting for me to see Brownlee Jr. is a young corner on the opposite side of Sneed. See
Yeah.
how he handles potentially following Puka around the field if they choose to go that route. So, um, yeah, I got Rams all day on this one, man, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made it. They put a little style on it. I really like their offense.
I
Kyrie,
love their offense. I love their offense.
yeah. McVay makes it fun, man. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Rams.
Rams all day, man. Rams all day. All right, next game we looking at here. This is going to be an interesting game. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are favored by 3.5. We know that the Cincinnati Bengals probably this year going to be all gas, no brakes, because what that means all offense, no defense. But for some reason, I don't know what they ended up only giving up 16 points last week. Of course, that's another kicker thing. I said that in my opening. The kickers didn't have a good week last week. And I don't know what that kicker's name is, Scythe or something, missed like a 35-yard field goal. Really, the Browns could have won that game, whatever, but they didn't. And the Bengals get off to a good start for once. Usually they start in the season 0-1, 1-2, 1-4, or something like that. So it was good to get off the schneid early. And I figured, you look at that and say, hey, the Bengals only give up 16 points. Does that say something about how good and opportunistic with Al Golden coming over from Notre Dame, taking over their defense, more of a read and react kind of defense, and kind of is that something that they would do? Or is the Browns offense terrible? And I think I fall somewhere in the middle on that one. So you got Jacksonville coming in there. It's a matchup of first overall pick quarterbacks who were in the championship game back in 2020, I think. And was supposed to be generational quarterbacks, stuff like that. One has kind of made that mold, and the other one is still trying to find his way through some things or whatever. I'll be interested to see Travis Hunter. I know in last week they have decided they're going to use him primarily as a wide receiver and use him in certain packages on defense. So I don't know how that's going to work. That's what they decided to do. I don't know. They won 26-13, I think, over the Panthers, which, I mean, everybody's beating the Panthers, man. I mean, so anyway, so I got Cincinnati. It's their home opener. I think Joe Burrow and his guys, Jamar and T, are gonna score some points. But it's gonna be some interesting things because I know Trevor and Travis and Brian Thomas. That's a nice little matchup there too. And I got Cincinnati though. They favored by 3.5. Should be an exciting game though. I feel like that one's going to be an exciting game. Going to be maybe a little fireworks in this game. I got Cincinnati, man.
Yeah, man, I'm looking for a track meet in this one. I understand the stated plan for Travis. That was
You were
given
shaking
last
your
week.
head at that though, man. You were shaking your
Yeah,
head vehemently at that.
well, look, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the other side of that field tomorrow. So I don't know if you got the
Might need
luxury.
him out there, huh?
I don't know if you got the luxury to ration his snaps on that end because I fully, not to say I expect, I fully want this game to become up and down, man, on both sides. You got explosion, speed and explosion on both sides, between Brian Thomas Jr. and Trav, and obviously Chase and T. Higgins. Tyson Campbell figures to, a really good cornerback, figures to be in the picture here in a major way. Somebody has to try and guard Chase. That's very tough to do.
Good luck.
Very tough to do. And usually when you're sending all of your resources over there and T. Higgins gets open on the other side. So they're going to need Trav tomorrow, man. I understand what was said, but I expect him to be out there pretty frequently on the other side, man. I'm hoping for like a 34-27, 34-30. I would love a high-scoring game here. Love to see the Jags open up that offense. Travis Etienne did have a good game last week, so maybe that's a sign of things to come for his season this year, especially considering his contract situation as a guy who didn't get a contract. So
he didn't.
He has a lot to prove. He's a really fun player when he's at his best.
Right.
And for our viewer experience, the awesome part about teams that don't necessarily play defense up to par is we get a lot of high scoring games. So I'm hoping this one is one of those. And both teams just open up the offense and just let it fly, man. I would love to see that type of game here. And I'm going upset. I'm going Jags.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got that.
Whoa. All right, man. I ain't got no bail here on that one, but that's all right there, man. Go with the
Yeah.
upset, man.
I think
I'm
Brian Thomas Jr. gets behind that secondary a couple times, and I think Travis starts to find his footing underneath. I think that's going to be their dynamic a lot. Brian Thomas
okay.
Jr. over the top, and Travis gets to get a lot of his touches underneath and make plays and do
Mm-hmm.
what he's
Mm-hmm.
always done well. So I think they see a lot of success in that tomorrow. And but on the other side, I mean, they're going to be fighting fire with fire.
Yeah.
Joey's going to get his guys going in a way they weren't able to last week against a stout Cleveland defense. I think this week, yeah, Jamar Chase is going to welcome himself to the 2025-2026 season.
Right.
And it's going to be a fun game, man. I got
Okay.
upset.
Got the upset, man. Trevor Lawrence gets to let folk reintroduce himself to folk. I think folks forgot he was the boy wonder, man, a while ago, and everybody's like want to throw him out with the trash now, man. But sometimes, man, get the right people around you, organizations make some. And of course, now you mentioned something about Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne gets to have the backfield by himself now because they traded away Tank Bigsby to the Eagles.
That's funny, man.
So so anyway, man. Getting back to that. So yeah, I'll be interested to watch that, man, because yeah, that's gonna be a good fun game. Maybe one of the funner games of the day because both of these teams came off of sort of like slugfest games week before. So 17-16, come on, 17-15, whatever the game was. Come on, man. Yeah, and then of course the Jags had an hour and a half storm delay, and it was
Yeah.
a it was a lot of going on with that. So so we'll see what happens. He got the Jags, I got the Cincinnati. We'll see what happens. All right, next game we got. This one's an inter divisional game. Some fireworks was tossed out there, man. You got the Cleveland Browns traveling to TA Bank Field in Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens are gonna be stomping mad. I'm in my mind, they're gonna be mad as I don't know what, man. As my dad used to say, mad as a wet hen. I said, well, I mean, anything wet would be mad, I guess, but I don't know what that means. That's just something I thought of. They're gonna be mad because they know they had a win in the W column,
Oh
and
yeah.
poof,
Oh
it
yeah.
was gone.
Yeah.
And I know they were looking around like, what just happened here? And then you add in, Jerry Judy talking to some stuff, in the leading up to the game. What do you expect to have? Oh, I don't expect them to be able to do nothing or something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing here. And I'm like, Judy, news. Let me give you a little. I don't even know if Jerry even know me, man. But hey, man, you let sleeping dogs lie. You see a beehive, don't go throw rocks at it and get them stirred up. That's just something that's a free one from Uncle Fred, for me to you. Don't get them stirred up. Okay? You gotta
Oh
go up
man.
against Zaire Alexander and Humphrey, Marlon Humphrey. So, and I'm sure uh um Harbaugh made sure they saw that bulletin board material. I'm pretty sure he did. Jerry, Judy, you really ain't done that much in the league to be going around talking that much, man. But hey, I like confidence. I like confidence. So I don't think it's gonna do them no good because they're gonna walk in there. They walking into a freaking buzzsaw, man. I think the Ravens are favored by the most favored. They're the most favorite team that can be favored by. They favored by like 11 and a half, and I don't think that's enough. I got the Ravens by like two touchdowns and a little bit extra. Don't poke the bear, Jerry. Don't poke the bear. I got the Ravens.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm picking the Ravens, of course. That defense, man, on paper it looks so good, but the product on the field last Sunday, man, was very, very disappointing.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I do think they get a little medicine this week. Um, I don't expect the Browns to be able to move the ball much, but at the same time, man, that defense on the Cleveland side is awesome.
Yeah.
So I expect them to present challenges. The problem will be that it's in division. Lamar knows them well. They know Lamar well. Um, the Ravens will be good to go in that department. Browns won't be able to sneak anything in there on them. Um, I do think the Ravens win a little convincingly, but at the same time, man, I want to see them. I want to see them put it together, man, and kind of show me who they expect to be. Because I mean, you know where I'm at with the Ravens, man. Ravens consistently put together strong seasons. They usually bounce back really well after a disappointment like last week. They'll come back the next week. They'll bounce back strong. So I do expect that, but honestly, I don't take much from it, because in the heat of the biggest battles is where they have to figure themselves out. So in
Correct.
terms of just staying from week to week, yeah, they'll win this game to me. So I agree with you in that department. But matchup wise, man, hey, Judy, that's a great secondary over there. So I love a good trash talk. So I'm not gonna turn you down, man. But good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, because you also have, probably, if we're speculating, we could see one of the best safety tandems for years to come between Hamilton and Starks. So
I love me some Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton is an MF, man. I love me some Kyle Hamilton, man.
yeah, he's a wolf,
Oh,
man.
yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
I love the promise of that safety tandem,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean Baltimore has a lot of talent, man, on that side. So it's just about them putting it together, and I think in some ways they get a little medicine here in this game. Um, Maybe like to your point, 34-7, 34-17, 34-14, maybe.
Okay.
Um, Kind of feels in the range here. But then again, Baltimore could. I mean, look, I'm not putting it past them to try and make a statement. I mean, they ran up 40 points against a
A
Bills
good
defense.
Buffalo team. A very good Buffalo team.
Yeah, so in
Yeah.
that regard, you
Yeah.
never know, but I'll put some respect on Cleveland's defense, especially early in the season before they've kind of lost hope, and say that
Yeah.
I think they put up a good effort, man. So I
Okay.
got Ravens. I'm with you.
All right, Ravens. All right. And so you always and see we go with all of this about the game and whatever. And we always got to remember it's a divisional game, and so you never know. Sometimes them divisional games don't go like we say they do because, like you said, and so accurately stated, they know them, they know them. They nothing they
Hmm.
gonna pull out that So a lot of times that makes for some interesting games that sometimes don't exactly live up to what we prognosticate. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we both got Baltimore. Let's move on, moving on, moving on. Let's keep time, be real respectful of time here. Also at the 12 o'clock slot, we got the Buffalo Bills traveling to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Football Jets. Buffalo with that, historic comeback. I think that may have been the first game they've ever won, but they're trailing about 15 in the fourth quarter, whatever. Hell, I don't think a lot of teams win when you're trailing about 15 in the fourth quarter. I'd like to see what the stat is for that, but they was able to win that, and that's a high for that. And then they get to go against a Jet team that I feel like very easily could have and maybe should have won that game against the Steelers. That was a good game. I didn't expect it to be a track meet though. Um, Justin Fields played well in that game, man.
Mhm.
He had nice command of the offense. He was making his throws, and when they were thought he was throwing it, he had his sleight of hand, handing that thing to Brees Hall, or making them think he's handing it to Brees Hall. He's keeping it down there on that goal line. He walked in the end zone. I'm like, dang, he sold that thing. I'm happy for Justin Fields because I know in the in the video that I did, when I was flying solo. I'm trying not to fly solo no more. I got my co-pilot with me now, so flew solo and flew into the side of the mountain. So I'm not doing that no more. But in that video, I mentioned that there was an interview that I was looking at because I was trying to do my research,
Mhm.
and it was Aaron Glenn. They was talking to him, and he was just talking about Justin Fields. He was like, "Man, I love that kid, man. That kid's been through hell and back, man, and I just love what he's made of. How he don't let nothing get him down, and whatnot." He said, "Man, I'm riding for that kid, man. That's my guy right there." And I said it on that video. I said, sometimes you just need somebody to believe in you. You
Absolutely.
know, that is the thing.
Mhm.
You sometimes you just need somebody to believe in you.
Mhm.
And you saw that Sunday, man. He was making throws. He just looked confident and everything. So I don't know, man. I'm tempted to pick the Jets because they playing at home. It's their home opener. No, it wasn't their home. They played at home against the Steelers. That's right. I don't know if I can go against Buffalo, man. They got kind of like a juggernaut, man. I don't know, man. It could be a good game. I think the Bills are favored by like 6.5. I think the Jets keep that thing closer than they think, man. But ultimately, I got the Bills winning that. I think Ed Oliver is one of the guys on their defensive line is out this week. I know Tre'Davious White, I think his name is one of their star corners is going to be questionable. So that you got to look for chinks in the armor to give an opening for a team like the Jets to get that W. So, but I got the Bills, man. I just think the Bills might have just a little too much, man. So what you say?
I'm going the other way. I'm picking the upset. I got Jets. Uh,
Oh,
I think last Sunday's referendum, because they got the win, and that's the most important thing. There's also a referendum of like, man, if Justin Fields comes out tomorrow at home playing that style that they struggled mightily stopping with Lamar's offense,
yeah,
if Justin's offense can take anything from film over this week, like why not us? Why can't we have that type of success with that style here? Um, so with potentially Ed Oliver, a huge swing
oh,
and
yeah,
a key
yeah.
player on that defensive front for Buffalo. I say the Jets need a win, and I say the Bills kind of took themselves off the hook for obviously securing that historic comeback. So um, I think the Jets give the Bills their best punch, and the Bills just kind of okay. We'll see them later on in our house, and we'll take care of that then. I think it's one of those type of situations. So
Divisional game
but
too. So yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I am looking forward to seeing where Sauce gets matched up in terms of whether they have him kind of following Shakir, who's a smaller receiver, or if Keon Coleman's ready to have a breakout season this year, maybe I would love to see the physical matchup between he and Sauce. A bigger corner with a bigger possession receiver. That's going to be fun. Um, Josh Allen and Josh Allen and Justin Fields running all over the place is just going to be fun too, man. It's going to be a
Yeah,
cool game to me.
yeah,
As you know, I've always been a Justin Fields guy, man.
right, right,
I'm really happy to
right,
see him finding his footing,
right.
general happiness as a professional man. So, um, yeah, I'm going upset here, but it's more so like it's a division game, man. I
Mm.
think the Bills get their punch back later, but I'm going Jets this time at home.
Man, TK coming in here showing his hands today. He's too upset. I'm like, what the like,
Well, we'll see. We'll
man?
see by the end of
I
tomorrow
hear,
whether or not I'm a
I
fool.
hear you, man. I ain't mad at it. Like I said, I had a bunch of them last week, but man. I was like, we're gonna see what happens though, man. But
Yeah.
adding on to what I said, we're gonna go on to the next game. I was telling you about Aaron Glenn, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. Aaron Glenn is an impressive dude, man. He was talking, man. I was like, damn. I feel like I could play for him. I'm like, man, you can't play for Aaron Glenn. You can't play.
Shout out to
That's an
Aaron Glenn,
impressive
man.
dude, man. I'm sitting listening to him, and of course, I know talk is cheap. What is he? Whatever. But I mean, now I see what the Jets brass saw when he sat down in front of them, man. I was like, man, how much you want, man? That's what I've been like. How much you want? You know,
For
impressive
sure.
dude, man. I think they'll do well, man. So I'm not mad at that pick. I just didn't have the courage and my conviction to pull the trigger, man. Kudos to TK, man, for not falling to peer pressure, man, and going on your own sword, man. That's all right, man. On to the next game. We got the New England Patriots traveling to, I guess it's Hard Rock Stadium to take on the Dolphins. Both teams coming off of losses. I had them winning last week. That's two games I missed. I just knew the Patriots, who didn't spend $100 million in the offseason. You just knew the Patriots that got Milton Williams. I just knew the Patriots that got what's the guy's name that was at Detroit? I can't think the safety corner's name. I just knew, that I just knew the Patriots with Mike Vrabel was going to beat the Raiders. I just knew that, right? Right?
I,
Eh.
yeah, I picked the Raiders. It didn't happen on screen, but yeah, I had the Raiders. So
Yeah, yeah. Um, I did say that you got to look at the coaching matchup. Pete Carroll is a dude, man. Hey, man, my people don't like him, don't like all that rah rah stuff. And I know we're not talking about the Raiders, but I mean, he came in and hey man, you gonna have to play them, man. Pete's a dude that guys play for him, So, but anyway, man, the Patriots going in with all the promise, like I say, Drake May and Travion Henderson, Milton Williams and Davis. I can't think of his first name. The safety they picked up. They spent some money, man. Stephon Diggs, you know, drafting and getting some good production out of Kenyon Butte. They got a good team, man. And in terms of like, you just got to put it all together. It's a matter of whether Drake May can kind of, settle the thing. He got a lot of promise, and a lot of people got to, really think he might be that guy. Um, we'll see. Dolphins, man. Look at me. That might have been the one that I got embarrassed of the most because that they didn't even show up, man. That game was
yeah,
30-0 at one point.
yeah, it
And
was.
and I in my pre on that game in the discussion, I was like, yeah, this is a chance for Tua to kind of like he's supposedly healthy now. Hey man, I'm still one of them guys, man. And I was like, you look at the speed they got. I mean, they still got A Chain. They still got Jalen uh um what's the kid's name from Tennessee? They got the running back got 4.3 speed. Um what's his name? I know you know his name, but
Jalen Wright.
Jalen Wright, yeah, Jalen Wright, and Waddle and Hill. Come on, man. I said on that track. I said, man, they're gonna be okay. All right, I think we're good now. You hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. We got flipped, but that's okay. That's all right, man. But anyway, man, I mean, damn, you let Danny Dimes look almost as offensive player of the week. What are we doing, man? Um, I don't know. This is an interesting game. I don't know how what I'm gonna look at in this game. Both teams lost. Both teams were kind of unimpressive last week. I mean, they're playing at home. I mean, I guess the Dolphins got to win this one because I mean, you know, they don't win this game, they lose a couple more. I don't look for Mike McDaniel to make it through the end of the season, man. I got the Dolphins, but I'm not real uh, confident in that pick at all. I think the Dolphins are favored by 1.5. Basically, it's a toss up. I guess I got the Dolphins, but oh, go ahead, man. And let's go on to other games, man. But yeah, go. But what you say?
I have no idea what to make of the Dolphins. I don't know what's going on there. I'm picking the Patriots, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if the Dolphins nosedive in a few weeks, or they may figure it out. I kind of don't know what to think of them, so definitely not picking them this week because who knows? Who knows? I think there's a lot going on internally there, and I'm sure it'll, you know, winning is the medicine. So if they start winning, but if it goes the other way,
Yeah,
we'll learn a lot about the Dolphins in the coming weeks. Once
yeah,
people get fired, people get traded, and I think their season is more likely to go that way than the other way. So yeah, I'm picking Patriots, man. I do expect them to get on a winning path at some point with Vrabel and everything that they're working on, building up their culture. So I say go get a culture win in Miami tomorrow. Miami's right for the picking right now.
I think they are. I'm not mad at that pick at all. I just feel like, man, the Dolphins got talent. I mean, it'd be different if you like the Panthers or something. And you're like, dang, where the talent's at? I mean, they got talent on that team, man.
They do,
Uh,
but
offense,
talent,
offense, offense, and defense. I mean, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? You know,
talent take more than
sometimes,
talent.
sometimes the message that's going here is not filtering all the way down to here. I don't know what's going on there, but man, they better get it right. They lose this game, man. It could be like you said, it could be a free fall and people could be getting pink slip. Not only just Mike McDaniel, it could be Chris Greer too, who's a GM that I thought a lot of. I thought he did made some nice moves and stuff, but they haven't panned out. So Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since like 2000, man. So you know. Anyway, man, let's move on, man. We splitting on that one. He got the Pats, I got the Dolphins. We'll see. Then you got the 49ers traveling to Caesar. It used to be Louisiana Superdome. It's got naming rights now. To take on the New Orleans Saints. Now, normally this would be a 49ers whitewash. Um, I don't know now because I didn't pick the 49ers last week. I mean, and they had Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's not playing this week. They're starting Mac Jones, McCorkle Jones. That's who they're starting this week. And that's a guy that Kyle Shanahan wanted about 3 years ago when he came out in the draft. He liked him some Mac Jones, but the Patriots ended up getting him and whatnot. They traded up, and I think there was some dissension between what the front office wanted to do and what he wanted to do. I think he wanted Mac Jones. The front office wanted Trevor Lance, Trey Lance, and they got what they wanted. Now he got his guy, and Brock Purdy's, he got a turf toe and a shoulder going on. So he's not starting. We're not sure what's going on with Christian McCaffrey. I know I know I think he's questionable, but I don't know if he's playing, and I know he's got some things that calf going on. They do have Brian Robinson Jr. though, so we'll see how that goes. Um, I got the 49ers because they got a bunch of dudes out too. I think Talisa Fuaga, that stud tackle that they drafted last year, is out. Um, they got some other things going on, and they're really just not a good team. They got Olave and Shaheed, I think is his name, and Brandon Cook. That's your wide receiver group, which is not bad. It's not bad, not bad. Alvin Kamara, but I don't like the quarterback, man. I don't think he's going to do a whole lot, man. So I got the 49ers, but I think it's gonna be a lot of three and outs in this game, man. And I got the 49ers winning. They probably like they won last week. What was it? Like 17, the 13, something like that. Probably gonna be something like that this week. I got the 49ers, but I ain't probably not a game you're gonna want to watch. Kittle is out too, so
I got the 49ers, man.
short and sweet. That one, I don't know. We'll see what the quarterback do. That one could be an upset, man. I don't know. I ain't that high on Mac Jones. It's a roll tide or two. I don't know. We'll see, man. But I got the 49ers. We'll see, man. Next, we got the this is gonna be a like, both of them have lost their first games. You got a team going up against that one of their much ballyhooed coordinators that left for a divisional foe. You got the Chicago Bears traveling to Ford Field
Ooh.
to take on the Detroit Lions, man.
Ooh.
And this one gonna be interesting right now. You get a Detroit Lions team they got their face pushed in it last week, man.
Yes,
You
they
know, they
did.
really they did. They made them put their face in they eat that and like it, man. They made them do that, man. And I've not seen the Detroit Lions being made to say uncle in a long time, man. They the Green Bay Packers punked them, man. They really did. They punked them. Um, they little boyed them, you know. I said in one of my videos, they had their hand on their forehead, had them swinging like this, and couldn't reach them. You know how big boys do their little brothers. You know, put their hands on their forehead, and they can't. They did them like that, man. And hit the microphone in the process doing all my theatrics. But anyway, moving on. And the Bears actually put a game in the loss column that they had in the win column. And I think Ben Johnson is realizing that number one, he don't have a running game that he had when he was in Detroit. You know, worse push come to shove, I can just turn around, hand that thing to Gibbs or Montgomery and get me 5 or 6 yards and get my thing set up. You know, he ain't got that now. Number two, you ain't got the offensive line. I know they made some additions. They got the kid from Atlanta and the kid from Kansas City to bolster what was a porous offensive line, and I think they're getting it together. Um, but they don't have that. And then number three, Caleb Williams is still trying to figure his thing out, man. It's a lot of things that you can do when you got a veteran quarterback that understands coverage, understands different things, and it makes your job easier as a coordinator because you can call things. But then if you got a quarterback that really he's trying to find his way, you ain't got a running game to lean on. I mean, sometimes it makes it a little difficult. So I look for the Lions to win this because I just think they got superior talent with Jared Goff, Gibbs, Montgomery, St. Brown, Jameson Williams off of that new money he just got. Uh, on defense, they got all their guys back. So I just can't see the Lions losing two in a row out the gate like that. I got the Lions, man.
Yeah, I got the Lions to win the game. This is gonna be a fun game. I'm not low on the Bears at all. Like I'm not low on Caleb. I'm not low on the offensive line. I'm a DeAndre Swift guy. He's a talented dude. Ben Johnson, I think Ben Johnson is going to do really well and get that offense buzzing as early as tomorrow. Like, I think that offense is going to be really good. Schedule makers did them no favors, having them start out with 2 division games to start their season. So unfortunately, I think that's a major, it's compound. The loss is compounded because they lost the game they should have won that they
Yeah.
kind of had in the within their grasp, and now you have to turn around and you're facing a division opponent who also lost last week. So you're facing a desperate division opponent in week 2. So no favors done on the scheduling side, but as far as the Bears in totality, man, I like that Bears team on both sides of the football. I think Caleb's going to be fine. I think that offense is going to buzz at some point this year. They'll be in the hole because I have them being 0-2 to start the year. But, I think ultimately by the end of the year, man, yeah, that's going to be a really fun team to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any like panic meter with them or anything. I don't think they're going to win tomorrow though.
No, I'm with
But
you on that.
a ton of fun matchups all over the field. So I can't wait to watch this game. It's definitely one of my games I got circled to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
it's ripe with talent. Sheesh.
Well, this game, not to cut you off, it's got a couple of things. You got some matchups. I think the Johnson, the kid, the corner. I don't know if he's playing or not, but I mean, going a cross match with either Saint Brown or Jameson, Jamo. You got that going, and even with the loss, the Bears defense is still pretty good. They were pretty sound in that game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, it's not all. I'm not sour on the Bears at all. I just know that when you're a coordinator, it's a little easier when you got you know it's just I just thought that the thing kind of got away from them a little bit in the second half, in the fourth quarter primarily, and it'll come to him. I definitely think it'll come to him because I think Ben Johnson can do some things. But it's going to be the matchups, like I know you are key on the matchup, but the storylines. This dude was a coordinator with them and had their offense looking primo for like 3 years, and then now he's over on that team. Of course, he knows their defensive personnel because he saw them every day, every week in practice. He knows them, and of course they know him too. So got that going back and forth. So it's
Well,
always some.
let's be honest, man. I think the Lions offense looked like they missed Ben Johnson last week. So
You think? You think?
I do think this week, you're at home. I think they're gonna play well. I think they're
Yeah,
gonna, these are two good teams to me. So
yeah,
I think it's gonna be a real good game, man. I know that the narratives and all of that is, enhances the experience for the viewer. But just in between the field lines, I just think it's gonna be a fun game. It's just too much talent on the field, man. So I can't
yeah.
wait to watch it. And I think he's gonna find him some success, man. He's gonna find some pockets of success in this game. And I can see it being close. Be a close game. Lions pull it out, take the home field advantage and pull it out. And yeah, that's what I got, man. I
Okay,
got Lions. I'm with you.
Lions. Okay with me. All right, next game we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to I think it's called Alashur Stadium now. Used to be called Heinz Field, whatever. Just take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers coming off that thrilling win. Chris Boswell kicking a 60-yard field goal at the buzzer against the Jets to win that game. Seattle, I had a lot of promise for them going into last week's game against the 49ers with Sam Darnold, Cooper Cup. They're both kind of undersold, underdelivered. Kind of felt like with the running game that and I think the Seahawks got a plethora of running backs. With Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, and the Martinez kid they picked up from Miami. I thought and you got like I said, Cooper Cup with Smith and Jigba. And then defensively, they got a ton of dudes on defense on the line. Linebackers. They got one-eye guys. Demarcus Lawrence. You know, Murphy, the kid they picked up from Texas last year on the D line, and Tariq Woolen, and they got a bunch of dudes in the secondary. They just they undersold me and underdelivered me on first week. Last week. I expected more from them, and they play a Steelers team that's high because they won that game. The defense did not look as well as I thought they would have. Steelers. One thing you can always hang your hat on with the Steelers, they're gonna play defense with their, Cam Hayward, T.J. Watt. Now they got and you got Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey made a play to break up that thing when the Jets was trying to come down and get
Mhm.
the he made a hell of a tackle and let he's a all around corner. He's not just a pretty boy covering guys and knocking passes down. If you catch that thing in his territory, he's trying to separate you from the football. And that's one thing about him. I've always admired about his game. Now he played for the Steelers now. Yeah. Uh, I got the Steelers, man. They're playing at home, their home opener, I believe. And I got the Steelers, man. Mike Tomlin, got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had a nice game, going to DK. And got a nice little running game going too. I just think the Steelers, you know, might be stumbling on something right now, man. I got the Steelers. The Seahawks got to show me something, man. I was much disappointed last week with the effort that they had. I expected better from them, and they got some explaining to do. I got the Steelers.
Yeah,
You
I
got
got the Steelers. I got the Steelers as well. Can't wait to watch DK matched up against Woolen and Witherspoon. I just think, man, that's gonna get physical. I can't wait to see it.
yeah.
I would expect possibly a little roughhousing at some point during the
Oh,
game. So,
oh, yeah.
it's gonna be a smash mouth game. The Seahawks have a smash mouth defense, so it's gonna be a smash mouth game. But it kind of plays into the Steelers' hands. It's their home opener. Um, it's like a 2017 game. I smell it. It's a game that could go either way, but I'm going with the home team. Um, that's to your point. That Steelers defense is going to need, establish a better reputation for themselves this week. And I think, historically, we know they take pride, always have on that end. So fully expect them to bounce back and respond in that way this week. And I'm a little concerned about the Seahawks offense. I mean, I really didn't understand the Cooper Cup signing just in the sense that Smith and Jigba does his best work in the slot, and that's where Cooper Cup does his best work. So it's kind of like,
Yeah. Both of them kind of in each other's way, sort of.
yeah,
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
two
None of
guys.
them, neither of them are X receivers, kind of really. I know they can play X. I've seen Cooper Cup play X, but he's a witch
Yeah,
in the
they're
slot.
both of those guys' best work is done in the slot, so that's
Yeah.
kind of redundant. And I think the Steelers are going to establish themselves at home tomorrow. So it can be ugly. It'll be an ugly
Yeah.
game, but I think they're built for it. If it does get a little ugly, so
One thing to note though, and I, like you, sometimes I like you because you look at the individual matchups and stuff like that because those are, sometimes those are things to watch, and that's sometimes you watch how that the back and forth with that. A lot of times I look at the coaching aspect of it. Mike McDonald was the Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator for a number of years, so he's gonna know some things that the Steelers do. Understand some of the things, the concepts, what the Steelers are trying to do and stuff like that. So that might make the game not as fluid as it might be because sometimes when you know an opponent, that's and they have a lot of good defensive personnel too.
but
Seahawks got a bunch of dudes on defense
I
now.
like
They
the Seahawks defense for sure. But then again, it's A Rod on that side, man. You're not fooling Aaron Rodgers, man. So
Mhm.
nothing you can show Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, if anything, I respect the Seahawks defense to say this could just be a really close, ugly game, and ultimately maybe it's just a field goal separation here. So I'll just go home team.
all right, good deal. Not buying the coaching aspect. I think it's gonna be a thing though. I think it's gonna be a thing, but we'll see. Next you got okay, the last of the 12 o'clock games.
Here
Usually we
we
save
go.
this, huh?
Here
Go
we
ahead.
go.
Oh, yeah, man, I ain't gonna do a whole lot with this. You got the New York Football Giants traveling to AT&T Stadium to take on my Dallas Cowboys,
There
man.
it is. There it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Cowboys, Cowboys coming off on almost win.
can I get mine out the way and let you take the floor? I got the
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Cowboys.
man. Go ahead.
I got the boys.
All right, man. I hear you. I hear you. I'm not gonna
Take
be
the
a
floor, man.
I'm not gonna be a Debbie Downer. I got the Dallas Cowboys too, but nobody got more run out of not winning than we did. They got a lot of run out of not winning. Dude, we didn't win the game. Yeah, we looked good. Yeah, Dak looked flawless. He looked great. Um, he's putting balls right on the money. He was in command of the offense. Did not look flustered. Stood toe to toe with them and whatnot. In both ways and won. And then the whole I don't know if that was an intimidation thing by Jalen Carter coming over there. Dak walked right to him like, what we doing, bro? What we doing?" And that's leadership. Like, no, you're not finna punk my little rook here. Going back over there where you supposed to be at, And hey man, and he played, like that, but still didn't win the game. So all that pyrotechnics and stuff, and you don't come away with the win. And that was a win we could have had. A couple of CD Lamb catches, maybe Miles Sanders don't fumble. Easily could have won that game. But being that is, man, we didn't. We got the Giants. It's the NFL's version of chicken soup. The Giants were not good in week one. And here's a catcher. And don't pull my NFL picking credentials. I actually picked the Giants last week because I kind of felt like their defense was going. I kind of felt like the defensive line is ridiculous. Kayvon Thibodeau, Sexy Dexy, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter. I was like, man, they finna collapse that pocket, man, and make. I said, I don't know, and they made some plays, and the Commanders didn't score but 21 points, and I didn't think Russ was gonna fall off the face of the earth that bad, but that's what I was basing it on. The defense. The defense. I thought they were gonna, and they may have the best defensive line in the NFL, man. If you want to look at it player for player, but they got to play that way. So those are the things are my concerns. Those are my concerns when you're going up against them without a young offensive line. Are you gonna be ready? Cooper Beebe, you ready for Sexy Dexy? You ready for that dude? Because I guarantee you, Dexter Lawrence coming. He's coming every play. He's coming. Okay. Um, and Abdul Carter had a nice game in his rookie debut last week, man. He's probably the next thing to having a Micah Parson or whatever, or something like that, So he's going to be a problem if you don't prepare for him. Offensively, look, man, John's offense is. I mean, you got Malik Neighbors, and you got Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, about it. Malik Neighbors was frustrated last week because Russ was throwing the ball all over the place, but Russ was throwing out of a well too because the offensive line was in his face every play, and he just not what he was like 5 years ago. He just not. You know, Father Time catches up with all of us, so I don't expect them to be able to move the ball or do a whole lot of things against. I look for our front what our newly minted Kenny Clark to come in and against I think his name is John Michael Schmidt Heimer, Hinkenheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too, or whatever. Whatever. I think he's gonna do his thing, and I think defensively we're probably gonna get an interception or two, maybe 4 or 5 sacks. Maybe our young pass rushers will maybe get some run this week and see what against a very porous offensive line. I got the Cowboys something like 28 to like maybe 13 or something like that. So I got the Cowboys.
Let's go.
Do not look past them. Y'all both 0-1. Let's handle business. Move on to the Bears. That's what we're doing. Cowboys win this.
All right. There it
All
is.
right. All right, the afternoon games, the 3:05 games. We got the Broncos at the Colts. That one could be a very interesting game. The Broncos come off of that win against the Titans. Bo Nix was okay in that game. I think it was the Broncos defense really that was the thing that won the day. And then they're going into um, Lucas Oil Field to take on the Colts. Colts off that 30-8 win over there. Can Danny Dimes back it up? A good win with another good win, or will it turn back into a pumpkin? Will he remember he's Daniel Jones? I say yes. I say it's not rhetorical. I say he does. Um, I really want to pick the Colts because I think the Colts got a good team. Because I think you got Jonathan Taylor. I mean, you got what's the receiver's name they got from USC, the big dude, Michael. Me and names. Yeah, I think he had a touchdown last week too. That was good. And then of course they got Tyler Warren, the tight end they picked up from Penn State, man, who figures to be, a dude in this league, whatever. So um if it was any other quarterback other than Daniel Jones, I would pick the Colts. But somehow I feel like, man, with the defense that they're gonna put out there with Patrick Surtain, um, and what's that other kid they picked up? The kid Jade Barron they got from Texas, the guy they drafted. Um, I got the Broncos, man, but this could be an interesting game to watch, man. That one should be an interesting game to watch. I got the Broncos, but only because I think Daniel Jones will revert back to the pumpkin that he is. He won't be the guy that we saw last week.
I got the Broncos, but I don't. It's not a pumpkin thing to me. I just think they have the best defense in the NFL, and I don't expect them to have success against them. Which I wouldn't expect most guys to have much success against them because that defense is elite. So
You're talking about the
yeah,
Broncos, right?
I am.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I got the Broncos winning the game, but yeah, it's more so about what they bring to the table. Elite defense. I think that offense will bounce back this week, and you know, I think that their offense has the potential to pour it on, but they may not show that week to week. I think this week they may show it a little bit. But as far as the other side of the field, I mean, Patrick Surtain is shutting off somebody's water. So
Of
good
course
luck to
he
the
is.
rest of you guys.
I think he's the best cornerback in the league. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's the best corner in the league. I mean,
I think
him and Sauce Gardner and Stingley can fight to break the pool cue and fight it out. But I like Sertan, man.
I think Surtain is a level above, man. So yeah, Michael Pittman. We'll see you next week.
Uh-huh. Michael Michael Pittman. That's who his name. That's I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, the big dude from USC. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We both got the Broncos. Okay, the other 305. That's the 305 game. That's the little intermediate game that comes before the other games. We both got Denver. Then you got uh, the Carolina Panthers traveling to State Farm Field, Glendale, Arizona, to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Not a whole lot to say on this game. Panthers. I don't know, man. I just I don't know. I just don't think that's a good organization. I mean Bryce Young was not good last week at all, and they're just not a good football team. Tedero McMillan made a couple of nice catches, and they still kind of got boat raced, sort of, kind of. So they're playing the Arizona Cardinals. I like, of course, I like, Murray, Connor, Marvin Harrison Jr. to do, what he's, doing. Of course, now a matchup you might want to see Marvin Harrison Jr. against J.C. Horn.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm pulling on my TK hat now.
There
Yeah,
you
that,
go.
there you go. Look at some matchup. You got to look in a
Oh
game like this. You got to look at a matchup. Something you got to look forward to. So the J.C. Horn, who's one of the, I don't know if he's one of the best corners, but he's one of the high paid corners. I think he got potential. I think he's been injured a lot. But I did like him coming out of South Carolina though when they back in 21 when they got drafted. So I do think he's a good corner, and I do believe Marvin Harrison got a lot. He didn't have the season I think he wanted in his rookie campaign, and I think he's looking to you know do some things. So I got Arizona, but that matchup might be something that might make that game worth watching. Cardinals are favored by 6.5. What say you?
yeah, I'm picking Arizona, man. This is one of those games that other people scoff at, but I like it. I think the Panthers have a lot of young talent on both sides of the ball. I think for Arizona, it's just a matter of Marvin is a great receiver, so Murray just got to put the ball on him, just put it on him. And I think once they start tailoring their offense around doing just that, Marvin will be fine. Marvin is Marvin, man. Marvin's an all world talented receiver. He was that at Ohio State. He's still that today. So, you know, this could be, a big game for him in the sense that I think, if I'm Arizona, I'm just trying to get him as many targets as possible. And I think Arizona wins the game because Arizona is much more in line with actually trying to compete and be a winning team more so than Carolina is right now. But I'm not going to scoff at Carolina, man, because they have a lot of talent. They really do. Their offense has a lot of young talent.
Just
Um,
just got to put it together, man. Just got to put it
I
together.
mean, it could just be a
Not
matter of,
catch y'all.
it could just be a matter of putting the right quarterback in that offense, at some point after this year. So, you know, we'll see with Bryce, man. I think Bryce is on his last leg of opportunity, at least in that organization. So we'll see how he responds to that. But yeah, Teteroy McMillan lined up with Will Johnson, rookie on rookie. Can't wait to see that matchup. Um, I've always been like a Chuba Hubbard guy, even in college. So another good Chuba Hubbard, James Conner matchup. I'm for that cross match.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Similar style of play, So I'm for that. Yeah, this is a game I would watch, man. I think we have some fun implications, man. Just kind of want to see the Panthers be able to put it together a little bit offensively because they do it. They got the talent, man. It's young talent, but it's there. So between Ted and Leggett and Jatavian Sanders and Chuba, it's like, hopefully they'll. It's about good showings for them, man. It's not going to be a lot of winning in their current future, so it's just more about good showings. So I hope they give us a good showing, man. Make a show out of tomorrow. But I'm taking Cardinals for sure, for sure.
Good deal. Good deal. Taking the Cardinals. Before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to my boy Chris D, who has his own YouTube channel called "Don't Bother Me." It's Saturday. He's on with us today. He put a couple of comments on. I want to acknowledge them because I appreciate him watching the video. We used to work together. I know him well, whatever. And he has a sports channel that he does college football on, and he's trying to get going. And I always try to shout him out. And I appreciate the comments. Appreciate him rocking with us. He made a couple of comments as it relates to the Steelers and the Seahawks game, talking about Broderick Jones, excuse me. He got to do better to hold up to give Aaron Rodgers time to throw. That was a game we just did, I think, a couple of picks ago. So I didn't see this. I didn't see the chat. So good insight there. And then of course he said, ain't no way the Cowboys let Moonball Russ and the Giants beat them. Okay, he got the Cowboys too. So good looking out, man. I'm gonna catch your comments so they ain't time with what we talking about, man. We appreciate you watching the channel, man. If y'all like college football content, man, check out his channel, man. Don't bother me. It's Saturday. And he's a good dude, man. Good dude. I'm trying to get him and TK hooked up, man. Them good young sports minds, man. Them good dudes, man. I like, you like to surround yourself with good quality people, man. That's what I've always said. If you surround yourself with quality people, man, you'll have good stuff, to follow you, man. So that's what I'm all about, man. So appreciate you checking us out, man. So getting back to our picks. So we both got Arizona in that game. So the last of the 3 o'clock game, 3:25 games. You got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Jihad Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
I got that one as that's the 4-star game of the day. Look, man, I think the Eagles probably didn't play their best game against the Cowboys. I mean, I think they looked at some things. Uh, even though when I see the Eagles, I'm not gonna hit the screen button because I don't want to belabor the time, but I got a screen button for the Eagles. But I always have respected the Eagles and their front office and how they do their business. Now, when they played the Cowboys, and there were some things that they didn't like, and they thought like maybe Saquon needs some reinforcements. One of their running backs got hurt. What did they do? They send some picks to the Jaguars and get Tank Bigsby, and pass rush didn't get to Dak. Dak wasn't sacked one time against the Cowboys. What do? They go make a move and go get Zadarius Smith. You know what they do. So the Eagles are just they're just, and a lot of people are starting to call Howie Roseman the what's the dude that's the GM of the OKC Thunder? I can't think of his name at the top of my
Sam
head.
Preston.
Uh, they call him the Sam Presti of the NFL, man.
No,
That, you know,
that's a
he
very
gonna.
terrible analogy, by the way.
Uh, but that's what
Yeah,
that's.
very terrible analogy. But just because Sam Presti, his approach wasn't giving away draft picks; it was acquiring draft picks. So, don't let that,
Of course,
don't let the technicalities, get you off though. How
get you off
how
track.
he makes moves, man. So if anything,
Yeah,
he's more Daryl Morey than Sam.
and Sam Presti.
So he's willing to make the moves and he's willing to adjust on the fly. And hey,
Right.
I know you loathe it, but that's great GM work, man. So
Oh yeah.
um,
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna stick this in here, man. I'm gonna stick this in here. When I be seeing, uh, hang on a second. Let me find it right here. Let me find it. Can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. It ain't here. It ain't here. All right, man. I ain't gonna worry with it, man, because I don't see it. Uh, I don't see it. I was gonna see. No, no, that's not it. Okay, I don't see it. I had a drop, man, that I was gonna say I was gonna use for when I see the Eagles making moves and stuff, and I don't see it in my listings here. So we're gonna move on. So anyway, so yeah, they make their moves and whatever, and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just gonna say this, man. Who just like the Eagles, I think they're one of the better front office. I don't think they're quite on the same level with Howie, but they do their thing. But right now, Patrick Mahomes is in need of some reinforcements. You know, really, they got guys that we're like look scratching our heads and say, who the is that guy? Number 80. Who is that guy catching passes? That's what we're down. That's what we're down to now. If we don't know it, Xavier Worthy gets sucker punched by his own teammate on a blocking thing or whatever that was, and got his shoulder separated or whatever that was, and he's gonna be out some weeks and stuff. So he's out, and really he's they kind of that go-to guy since the NFL came down and hammered down Rasheed Rice, and they kind of should have, but they kind of drug their feet on it. He gonna miss the first 6 weeks. So really now you got Juju Smith Schuster being like a lead receiver who's really on most teams like a fourth receiver. Okay. And some dude that's number 80. I think his last name is Thornton, maybe. And of course you got um uh the, just got engaged Travis Kelsey. So that's basically what you got. So uh hard for me to see Pat going down 0-2, but kind of think Pat going down 0-2. I just don't think they got the manpower with Andy Reid's ingenuity and Patrick's theatrics and falling down and flipping balls forward and running to the sideline and throwing a 50-yarder to Hollywood Brown. Man, I don't know if that's gonna be enough against a team that's loaded top to bottom like the Eagles, man. As much as I hate to say it, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm picking the Eagles. I hate it, man. It's like nails on the chalkboard. I gotta do it, man. I hate it, but I just don't see any way that Patrick, with this cast of characters, can beat a team like that. He had dudes in the Super Bowl and got boat raced, and so I don't know, man. I got the Eagles.
Yep, I got the Eagles. The Chiefs are overmatching this game. Though I do have it as, it's a Super Bowl rematch, man. So it's automatically a 5-star in my book. But
Oh
it's
yeah, I got
too
stars by it.
much,
I definitely got stars by
too much, too much to handle, and just not enough on the Chiefs side to overcome the
it. Yeah,
disparity. So um, I give Pat enough respect, more than most, in the sense that uh, I think he piecemeals a couple successful drives together with what he has, and they put a decent game plan together. So maybe it's not a boat race like it was in the Super Bowl, but I got the Eagles for sure, convincingly.
yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna hit the screen button, but yeah, I'm picking them. Yeah, I'm picking the Eagles. Okay. All right, man. Moving on to the night game, Sunday night. I got 3 stars on this one. You got the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons, traveling to it's I think it's Bank Field. I can't think of what it's called, but it used to be called the Metrodome, and it's been called Mall of America Field. It's been called all kind of things. But they're traveling to Minneapolis to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings coming off that come from behind win against the Bears, and then the Falcons, which I kind of picked last week. I picked against both of these teams. Um, Falcons are coming off the loss against the Buccaneers, which they lost, missed field goal at the end there. Vikings are favored by 3.5. It's their home opener. Um, I like the Falcons. I had said in my video last week, man, if you look at the Falcons' offense with Michael Penix, I think he takes that next step. And then, of course, you got Algiers um, and the running game is phenomenal. Um, and you couple that with Drake London and Mooney and Kyle Pitts. Go with Bijan Robinson, who can go do anything, catch it, run it, do all kind of things. You know, if they just had a little bit of defense, I think you could roll with the Falcons. And then they, made some things. They got James Pierce and some other guys on defense. Uh, Minnesota showed me a little something last week, man, and still got Justin Jefferson. McCarthy's starting to figure some things out. Um, I got the Vikings, man. I don't. It's not an upset because they favored by 3. I look for the Falcons to keep it close. I look for, and it's a matchup of the 2 starting quarterbacks of the national championship game like 2 years ago with JJ McCarthy versus Michael Penix. When it was Washington versus Michigan. So that's a thing to look to or whatever. And I got the Vikes, man.
I got the Falcons going the other way. Yeah.
Whoa.
Um, to all the points you
TK
made,
showing his hind parts today, man.
yeah,
Okay.
I love their offense, man, I think Michael Penix is going to be pretty good, man. He throws a great ball.
I
Got a
like
lot
Michael
of
Penix.
talent around him on that side of the ball, and I don't think the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to put together some successful drives for sure. I mean, you got Jettas on that side, but I don't think they
Yep.
overwhelm the Falcons. So in that spirit, man, I'll take the better offense, like in its entirety. I think Minnesota is the best player amongst all of the offensive players. I don't think that's really
Yep.
debatable, but in terms of like the collection of talent, especially with Addison still being out on the Minnesota side, um, give me Falcons, man. They need a win. Vikings kind of stole one, so I say things kind of
Okay.
even themselves out Sunday night.
Finna put on my TK hat. I'm gonna look for that JJ versus the AJ Terrell matchup. AJ Terrell not an elite corner, but he's a good corner. He's a good corner. He's a solid corner
Well,
that
I would
makes plays.
expect the Falcons to stack the deck on that side, man. Keep a safety over the top. I mean,
Oh, you got to.
yeah,
That's JJ. You got to.
yeah.
You
So I
got
wouldn't
to.
expect Terrell. I wouldn't look for that matchup and expect Terrell to be out on the island much with JJ. I don't think that's going to happen. But great matchup. Could potentially be a fun game. I mean, if I like the Falcons offense, I think it's going to be a fun offense. So I thought that last year, but they obviously took a
Yeah.
little while before they ultimately succeeded over the Penix, excuse me. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, man, Falcons upset, I guess.
Falcons.
I would
Good
consider
on
it
them.
upset,
Good on
but
them.
upset.
He got Falcons. I got Vikings. All right. Moving on. Moving on. All right then. So we got the first of two Monday night games. We're gonna make these quick, but first game I got. Okay. The first of two of the games I got 4 stars, 3 stars on this one. The Buccaneers at the Texans. That's gonna be a good game right there, man. Um Look, man, the Texans kind of let me down last week, man, because I would have thought that offense could have generated more than 9 points. Um, you know, CJ, and I think the offensive line kind of let him down a little bit, and I felt like, they traded off the guy to go to the Commanders, Tunstall. Um, and I thought like, well, maybe, they got better at the offensive line. Well, I didn't see that, and he was still under duress. And I know, of course, one of our things we've talked about is a lot of times CJ either holds the ball in the sacks or runs into sacks a lot of times, and it makes the offensive line seems like it's giving up more sacks than it does or whatever. But I just felt like with you got Nick Chubb, you got Joe Mixon, you
They
got
don't have Joe Mixon.
you
Joe
know
Mixon is hurt, and that's the problem.
oh, is he
Yeah,
hurt? Okay, 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 but he's still on the team
yeah.
though. Because I was looking for him in the thing, and it still said he played for them. So I just thought he just didn't play because they like Chuba Hubbard better, but he's hurt. Okay, that's information and good to know. But I know I know they got they picked up some good wide receivers in the draft. They still got Nico Collins, who's a dude, man. And I kind of felt like they were going to be able to move the football, so they only scored 9 points against a good Rams defense. Now I'm not knocking them. I just expected more than 3 field goals out of that offense, man. And then they playing Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. I kind of didn't pick them because no Chris Godwin, no Tristan Wilkes. I'm like, okay, they're probably going to lose that game. That's two dudes you probably can't miss. Your left tackle and your number two receiver, and they'll just load the thing up with Mike Evans. But nobody, well, I kind of knew because I like Emeka Ibuka. Emeka Ibuka, 4 catches, 67 yards, and 2 touches, man. So this is gonna be an interesting game because the Buccaneers, man, offensively, Bucky Irvin and White, they Baker doing their thing. They're a very competent offense and they can move the football. The Texans really why I picked them because they got studs on defense, on the defensive line, linebackers, in the secondary. Man, you got C.J. Gardner Johnson and Stingley in your backfield, in your defensive backfield. You should be, you know, and you got Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter on the defensive line, Sheldon Rankins. You got dudes on your defensive line. You got dudes all up and down the lineup, man. You got Al Shields, Azier, and Henry Toa at linebacker. You got dudes on defense, So I'm like, man, they're gonna be hard to deal. And then you got a dude like D'Amico Ryan's basically being like Birdman. Like, how can I cook up this witch's brew? I'm like, yeah, they're gonna be shutting people down. So that's what I envision when I make my picks. Those are the things that go into it. I don't be picking teams willy-nilly. I like their helmets. I like their uniforms and stuff like that. I go by, hey man, they got personnel and good coaching. They should win. And they didn't. So they're playing the Buccaneers this week. And I don't want to make a short story long here. I'm kind of torn on this one because the Texans, man, let me down last week, and the Buccaneers surprised me. So Houston's favored by 2.5. It is the home opener for the Texans. I guess I'll take the Texans because they're at home, but the Buccaneers are not going to be a tough out, man. What you got?
Joe Mixon is injured, and Joe Mixon is a huge part of their offense, and they weren't able to run the ball much with
No.
Nick Chubb last week. So it's a major concern because defensively and they have a great defense. So they held their own on that side last week, and they could only generate 9 points, and that was the problem. It's as simple as that for them. So I wouldn't expect much to be different this week, honestly, against the Bucks. You have to figure at some point the Bucks will, find a successful drive or two that could create the difference. I just think the Texans are going to struggle to score because they're not able to run the ball, they're not able to establish things, and I don't know that they even have like a true number two. I know they drafted 2 wide receivers from I believe Iowa State. They both are.
Iowa State, yes, that's correct.
But
That is correct.
at this point, until those guys develop, I really don't think they even have a true number two receiver, and so just not as high on them as you seem to be. Defensively, of course, I do love what they have on that side of the ball, but they give me. I'll, and this is an off-air thing, but I'll bring it on air in terms of, as you know, the Egbuka pick, I was just kind of like, whatever, but he looks good, man, and I think they got them one with him. So, I mean, it was in relation to the Cowboys, but you were high on him. I wasn't low on him. I was just kind of like, well, I think he'll be pretty good, but it might be a little better than just.
There were better dudes in the draft. Tet's better than him. Potentially, Matthew Golden was kind of maybe better than him.
I don't know.
And some people
I guess that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know. I kind of took that position of like, well, I think he's cool. Like he's as good as some of these other guys, but he may actually be better than what I thought. So
yeah.
Just said to say, man, I really want to pick the Bucks because I kind of think they just have a better thing going on for at least for now. But then again, I've made several, picks already. That's kind of on, living out on the edge.
Oh, come on, man! You live on the edge, man. You only live once, man. I want somebody else to be 6-9 other than me, man. Come on, man, pick him.
Well, I'll take them. I'll take the Bucks. I'll take them. I'm not high on the Texans. I'm really not. So it's not even.
Yeah, I mean, I was high on them coming out the gate, and because I had to been high on them if I picked them over the Rams. I like the Rams. People don't know that's like my silent. That's like my don't nobody know about it crush. I like the Rams. I got a kind of got a crush on them, man. I like the Rams and stuff. For me to pick against them tells you what I thought about when I look at the lineup and I look at Ryan's. I'm like, man, damn, I don't know how they're gonna score on them, man. So, but to your point, yeah, but they gonna have problems scoring. So yeah, and I didn't really take that into consideration. So like I said, that's why I got TK on here, man. Hey man, I'll try not to fly solo again, man. I don't like flying in the side of mountains, man. Don't like it at all, man. You bring good insight, man. Like I said, I like to surround myself with good people with sound things, man. So that's why that's why I hang out with TK and Chris D. Yeah, good young brothers, man. That know what they're talking about, man. So you taking the Bucks, I'm taking the Texans. So we'll see what happens. So let's go and wrap these 2 Monday night games and close the video out. So you got first of 2 Monday night games. Okay. So the first Monday night game, which we just talked about, the second of those Monday night games is the Chargers at the Raiders. Both teams coming off wins. The Chargers look very impressive against the Chiefs, man. Justin Herbert started to show you what everybody was saying some years ago when everybody was trying to ease him up there in the elite class, because they saw the arm talent. They saw that, dude is 6'5" and 220, 230 and can move, can run. and has an arm, can put the ball anywhere you want it, but somehow do some things. A lot of that's not his fault because, like I always have said, a lot of times, man, sometimes you can have a quarterback and the system not work, not fit him. Of course, now the people that are naysayers that will know if you have a great quarterback, he'll overdo the system. He can you make the system around him. Well, yeah, if you're smart enough to do that, um, and sometimes the front office don't supply you with the right people around you, and sometimes you have put a lot of eggs and a lot of talent, draftable talent, and they don't pan out, like they were supposed to have. Sometimes there's a lot of things to why somebody ends up successful and how some others don't be. So and I think now you got the right coach. I think Harbaugh is going to demand uh, effort. He's going to demand, buy-in. He's going to demand that everybody do their jobs. He's going to demand things. He's going to hold people accountable. And you kind of saw that in the difference, when you saw them play last Friday in Brazil. That they were, and Justin looked. I mean, he looked phenomenal. You would almost thought they swapped jerseys. That looked like Pat, Now the run that he got be able to run the clock on. A lot of that was because Chris Jones was doing some stuff he had no business doing. That's why him and Drew Tranquil was on the sideline. Like, man, well, okay, if I'm playing this, you can't be crashing inside because you can't leave the outdoor naked like that. And and Justin Herbert got the nice photo op with the slide, holding the ball and smiling for the camera. That was so smooth. I had to give it to him. I said that's a Kodak moment right there. And maybe that's the same. That's the shot that hit that where we see him get to where get him in the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen stratosphere. Now I said all that word salad. Um, in the Raiders, look, man, Pete Carroll can coach, and we're gonna stop slandering Geno Smith. Geno Smith is a capable quarterback in this league. I know I've been kind of out on him, not okay, he gonna remember he Geno Smith here in a minute. Well, I've been like 3 years ago now. I mean, yeah, he gonna throw some every now and then and have you scratching your head, right? He'll do that, right? But he was good last week. I think he threw for over like 300 yards or something like that. And commanded the game, and he's kind of the reason why they was able to beat the go to New England and beat the Patriots. He was one of the reasons why they was able to do that. So in this game, it's the Raiders home opener at whatever they call that stadium in Las Vegas. Um, Chargers are favored by 3.5. I think the Raiders can play. I just think Pete is going to have them in games. You would see in years past the Raiders, which I know TK, that's his silent crush. If my silent crush is the Rams, his is the Raiders, man. He really rides for them when but they sometimes will get boat raced. I don't think they get boat raced with Pete Carroll. I think they compete every game. So there's gonna be some games they win and they ain't got no business winning. But I don't think it's gonna be Monday. I got the Chargers, but I think the Raiders make a good game out of it.
I got the Chargers, man. Chargers a better team. I think Chargers are about to be really good this year. So,
Yeah.
if anything, I'm just happy. I didn't watch the Raiders last week, so this will be my first time getting a chance to see Genty. So I'm looking forward to seeing Genty this week. Unfortunately, I'll only see one half of Ashton Genty because I will not be watching the second half of this football game. I will be counting sheep. So, let me know how it goes. I'll check it out in the morning, I guess.
Right.
I
Right.
fully expect to wake up and see that the Chargers won.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I really like that Chargers team this year, man. They were flying around Friday. Yeah, I mean, if Herbert has put it together, then yeah, they're ready to go up a level.
Look the hell out if he puts it together and gets to where, because I mean, they can run the ball with Marion Hampton and then they have Najee Harris to back him up too. So I mean they got guys, and you know Quentin Johnson. I mean, that was one of the dudes I was like, man, he kind of ain't played like it, but you know, sometimes they don't be putting in the right positions, man. You got to look at sometimes what a guy did when he was in college. What was he successful in? And when you're putting him in the next, you got to put him in them same situations that they're, you know, match their talent to, you know, what they're good at, you know. And I think maybe they're able to do that. And Lad McConkey he's a freaking slot witch, man. He's hard to cover, man. He is hard to cover. So yeah, I got the Chargers, but like I said, man, the Raiders gonna make a game out of it. I just think Pete Carroll's gonna have them guys in every game, even though they you know they're not the most.
I don't. I mean, I get that, but they probably won't have Brock Bowers, and that's a huge part of their offense missing now without him.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he did get hurt last week. I did see that on the play on that. It was like a 50-yard catch and run, and
so
Brock Bowers is a
yeah,
stud, man. That's a
he's
stud.
he, he's he's a stud, and he's their honestly he's their best player on offense. So
Yep,
not
yep,
having him is going to be a major loss.
yep.
So yeah, I have the Chargers pretty convincingly here.
Yeah, Michael Mayer got to step up, man.
I guess so.
All right, man. Uh, all right. And so I guess we can just blindly pick the game for next Thursday. It's gonna be the Dolphins at the Bills. I got the
Yeah,
Bills. I just don't think the Dolphins
it's the Bills.
got
It's
nothing.
the Bills, man.
I got Bills.
It's the Bills. Yeah.
Because according to TK, they got to bounce back from this loss against the Jets, right? So yeah, they'd be 2-1
Yep. Bills all day.
all day, every day. All right, all right. Those are our picks.
Congratulations. Well done.
Got our picks in. Got our picks in for the day, man. We ran a little longer than we wanted to, man. Good content though. We like to, we got to tighten that up though. Definitely got to tighten it up. Got to tighten that up to make a more attractive, video. But I do like our insight. I do like our content. I do like our analysis. And like I said, I put our analysis up against a lot of the other content people that do pick 'em shows. I like our content just as good. And I think somebody put a chat in here. Was it my man? What did he say? He said something. Yeah, that's a good thing. Don't My man Chris D said Baker leaving Cleveland was the best thing that could happen to him. Yes, 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 without a doubt, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to him. He's found himself in Tampa Bay, and he's found success into the playoffs every year. I see them going to the playoffs this year, and I don't know if that was happening every year in Cleveland. So that's good insight there, Chris. Like I said, check him out. Don't bother me. It's Saturday on his YouTube channel, giving analysis on the college game. Man, might even get him in here on some of our picks, and so let get some of his insight. Man, I always like to get good people in here. So, but anyway, man, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. Man, signing off from TK and myself, Uncle Fred. Any last words there, TK?
Nope. Enjoy that Sunday as usual. I will.
Man. And as I always say, embrace these days while you got them, because you're gonna wake up one day and it's gonna be January and they're all behind you. You're gonna wonder where the time went. So enjoy these days, enjoy your teams, enjoy your Sundays. We'll catch you guys next week for your pick. All right. Catch you guys next week.